Baruch. Good morning, Rabbi Leeor Rosh Chodesh Tov. Be'ez Hashem Mincha is going to be 7:20. Please be on time. And tonight at 12:45 at the night, we're going to be starting the first Sirihot Minyan. Make sure to be on time because we're going to start promptly. As well as the second Sirihot Minyan is going to be before the 6:30 Shacharit at 5:50. The third Minyan is going to be 6:40, right before Mincha, which is 7:20. The halakha we were discussing yesterday about Maran Shulchan Aruch saying Yesh Omrim that for Reshut HaRabim to qualify as a Reshut HaRabim, it needs 600,000 people traversing it on a daily basis. The fact that the Shulchan Aruch said it in the language of Yesh Omrim implied that he didn't hold of it, which means that a Reshut HaRabim has very low standards, that even if 600,000 people don't pass it, it's called the Reshut HaRabim, which would mean the simple understanding is that you can't make a eruv in any major city in modern day America, Israel, and most of the world. However, Chacham Ovadia, although we mentioned yesterday originally Rav Ovadia was against Sfaradim relying on the eruv based on the position of Shulchan Aruch because he referred to it as a Yesh Omrim. In his later years, he discovered a few authorities that said in the position of Shulchan Aruch that the Shulchan Aruch is being lenient, where if the Shulchan Aruch uses the language Yesh Omrim, it sounds like he doesn't agree with it. However, the Magen Avraham says that if you look at the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Shin Gimel, and also in Siman Shin Chav He, based on the Bet Yosef, he says, En lanu bizman hazeh din Reshut HaRabim. Shulchan Aruch says pretty clearly that there is no Reshut HaRabim in our times today. Now, why would the Shulchan Aruch write that in Siman Shin Gimel and Siman Shin Chav He if he held that as long as the street is 16 amot, it's called Reshut HaRabim? Then we would have plenty of Reshut HaRabims today. It must be the Shulchan Aruch held that you need the standard of 600,000 people to pass on a daily basis in order to qualify for Reshut HaRabim, which would basically translate that today there is no Reshut HaRabim. And therefore, the Magen Avraham says, when the Shulchan Aruch wrote in Siman Shin Mem He, Yesh Omrim, that you need 600,000 people, it wasn't saying that I disagree. You're saying, listen, not everybody agrees with this, but this is a very majority opinion, and therefore it is halakha lema'aseh as well. That's how the Magen Avraham learns, and that's how the Bet Ephraim learns. And interestingly, Erech HaShulchan Rabbi Yitzchak Tayyib also learns that way. Rav Ovadia saw these poskim, and he said, wait a second, so that means that it's not conclusive in the Shulchan Aruch's opinion what he holds about the 600,000 requirement, and if it's not conclusive, then I could go back to the majority of the Rishonim that say to be lenient and to consider it a Carmelit as long as 600,000 people don't pass by. And therefore, Rav Ovadia used this as a strong basis. Now it is true the poskim were a little bit adverse to relying on this alone and to say, listen, we don't have a Reshut HaRabim because find me a street where 600,000 people pass by it every day. It's true that the majority of poskim said it's a good logic, but add another logic to it. Add another svara. Don't just rely on that. Have another basis that you're coming from to permit, because you're dealing with something that potentially is deoraita. So now we have one strong basis, but we need to add on top of it more sevarot in order to be lenient halakha lema'aseh. And Bezat Hashem we'll see as we continue other reasons why today there is no Reshut HaRabim, and based on that, the erection and the creation of a eruv is possible. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen.